On December 15th, 2008, Donald Trump spoke in glowing terms of President Barack Obama.
I think he's doing great. I think Hillary's a great appointment. I think that some of the others are just great appointments. I think he's doing a great job.
He said much the same thing on many other occasions. He called him a strong leader and, quote, just what we need. In April 2009, in a blog post, Trump wrote, Trump rates Obama's first 100 days as a strong B+. In 2009, in a piece for Bloomberg Business, Trump said he would hire Obama. Quote, overall, I believe he's done a very good job, end quote. He went on, I'd hire him. He's handled the tremendous mess he walked into very well. He still has a daunting task ahead of him, but he appears to be equal to the challenge. He's kept his eye on both national and international issues, and visits to foreign countries have shown him to be warmly received, which is certainly a change from the last administration. I believe he should pay more attention to OPEC and what's going on over there, but overall, I believe he's done a very good job, end quote. In September 2010, Trump was asked by CNN's Wolf Blitzer if Obama has saved us from another depression. Trump's response, quote, I do agree, end quote. Then, on April 7th, 2011, Donald Trump is suddenly singing quite a different tune. He told USA Today,
3 weeks ago when I started, I thought he was probably born in this country, and now I really have a much bigger doubt than I did before.
But based on what?
And you know what? His grandmother in Kenya said he was born in Kenya, and she was there and witnessed the birth, okay? He doesn't have a birth certificate, or he hasn't shown it. He has what's called a certificate of live birth. That is something that's easy to get. When you want a birth certificate, it's very hard to get. A certificate of live birth is not even signed by anybody. I saw his. I read it very carefully. Doesn't have a serial number, doesn't have a signature. There's not even a signature.
Do you believe he's
I'm
lying?
starting to think that he was not born here. I would like to have him show his birth certificate. And can I be honest with you? I hope he can. Because if he can't, and if he wasn't born in this country, which is a real possibility, I'm not saying it happened, I'm saying it's a real possibility, much greater than I thought 2 or 3 weeks ago, then he has pulled one of the great cons in the history of politics.
1 week later, he told Sean Hannity,
Look, he's been a horrible president. I always said the worst president was Jimmy Carter. Guess what? Jimmy Carter goes to second place. Barack Obama has been the worst president ever. The history of this country, Barack Obama is number one.
So how did Barack Obama go from doing a great job, being the man we need right now, a strong leader, a guy who saved us from depression, to the number one worst president in history in such a short time in the mind of Donald J. Trump? It could be the same reason Trump has turned on everyone else he once really liked, even loved, but now considers them a loser, washed up, irrelevant, or a no talent. Maybe Obama said something unflattering about him. Maybe he got in the way of a business deal. Or maybe it was just politically expedient for Donald Trump, who is now preparing to run for president of the United States. Only Donald Trump himself knows the answer. But whatever the reason, Obama struck back at him, publicly mocking Trump at a White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Eventually, Obama produced his birth certificate, which Trump and others in the birther movement still believed and continue to believe is fake. And now, Trump flatly refuses to discuss the multiple years he devoted to Obama's birth certificate.
Is Donald Trump
honest when he says that Barack Obama isn't a legitimate president?
So I knew you were
that's
gonna
a
ask
good
me that
question because
I didn't say you couldn't. I didn't say you couldn't. I knew you
can't stop me.
Because, I should really, no, I can't. I should not tell you this, but I do watch you a lot. So I knew you were going to ask that question.
Well, because
and you know what I'll say? I don't talk about that anymore.
Something else Donald Trump doesn't talk about anymore are the liberal and progressive policies that he espoused for most of his life, which we had covered, and in some cases he still espouses. But in June 2015, Trump, after considering running for president nearly every 4 years since 1988, tossed his hat into the Republican ring.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
It was an interesting development, considering that in 2004, Trump told Wolf Blitzer,
Well, you'd be shocked if I said that in many cases I probably identify more as a Democrat. And I think you'd probably be shocked.
On social issues?
It's interesting. And I've been around for a long time. And it just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats.
the news that Trump used to identify more as a Democrat certainly didn't come as a surprise to Hillary Clinton.
He was basically a Democrat before he was a Republican, and he was, somebody that we all knew in New York, and he was supportive of Democrats. He was supportive of a lot of the causes that, I cared about and that people I knew cared about, and so, now he seems to have taken another road.
For his part, Trump has actually used his relationship with Democrats as a selling point for his candidacy.
I've always had a good relationship with Nancy Pelosi. I've never had a problem. Reid's going to be gone. I always had a decent relationship with Reid, although lately, obviously, I haven't been dealing with him, so he'll actually use my name as the ultimate, as the ultimate of the billionaires in terms of, people you don't want. But I always had a great relationship with Harry Reid, and frankly, if I weren't running for office, I'd be able to deal with her, I'd be able to deal with Reid, I'd be able to deal with anybody. But I think I'd be able to get along very well with Nancy Pelosi and just about everybody. Hey, look, I think I'll be able to get along well with Schumer, Chuck Schumer. I was always very good with Schumer. I was close to Schumer in many ways.
Of course Trump can get along with these progressive Democrats because he's been one, and he has donated a lot of money to all of them, including Hillary Clinton. After over 7 years of Barack Obama's fundamental transformation of the United States of America, Donald Trump seems to have tapped into a wave of angry populism. His signature policy plan involves immigration.
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great, great wall on our southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
Matt Lauer asked him for specifics on how he plans to achieve deporting 11 million illegal aliens and forcing Mexico to build a wall.
Specifically, because you used the word specifically, okay? Just getting 11 million illegal or undocumented immigrants out of the country, transportation, housing them in the process.
Well, management.
What's the specific
and you
plan?
understand, I think, maybe perhaps better than that. It's called We Have a Country.
As for their part, Mexico has repeatedly and vehemently responded that they have no intention of ever paying for a wall between the United States and Mexico. We've discussed his tabloid and his progressive past. But where does Donald Trump, the Republican candidate, really stand? Well, he says he loves free trade. He calls himself a free trader. But he also wants massive tariffs on China, Mexico, and others. He hates Obamacare, but he himself says that he will bring universal health care into reality. He wants to deport 11 million illegals, but he also says you can't possibly kick 11 million illegals out of the country. He considers himself pro-Second Amendment, but he favors an assault weapons ban and longer waiting periods. He claims to be for personal freedoms and private property, but loves and has utilized eminent domain to take private property away from owners against their will. He says Ted Cruz was a nice guy, a friend of his, and now he says he's a nasty guy who no one likes. He called Ben Carson a loser and a pedophile. and now calls him a man he deeply respects. We could spend a month exploring Donald J. Trump. After all, he is a captivating individual. He is outspoken. He's entertaining. He's unlike anyone who has ever run for the President of the United States. But is that a good thing? And is that enough?